What's going on, guys? Matt back again, this time for another college football ranking. Let's go ahead and throw up that Week 8 top 10. I'm going to run through it real quick. I had Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, LSU, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State, Baylor, Minnesota, and Boise State. Okay, starting with Clemson, they played at Louisville. Trevor Lawrence struggled through two bad interceptions in the red zone, but they came away with like a 42-20 something or 17 victory. I know they blew them out. So Clemson's defense is good enough to get them out of those situations that Trevor Lawrence puts them in, but he's not having his best season so far. Could be the pressure from being so good last year. Who knows? But Clemson's good enough to get through games like that, even if he struggles. Alabama played Tennessee. The big story in college football right now is Tua going down with an ankle injury. He might be out for 3 to 4 weeks or something. He might miss the LSU game. Hopefully, or they hope that he'll be back for the Auburn game, and of course the LSU game, but it looks kind of doubtful right now. They beat Tennessee by like 20 points. I think that it was going to be a one-score game if Garantano hadn't fumbled at the 1-yard line and then Alabama took it all the way back. But no one expected Tennessee to win that game, but I don't know if anyone really expected them to keep it as close as they did either. I don't know if that means Tennessee's getting better or Alabama's getting worse, but I would have to say Tennessee's probably getting better. They had their backup quarterback go down with his second. He had a head injury for the second week in a row, so I doubt he'll play this week. Number 3, Oklahoma had West Virginia at home. It was a close game to begin with, and then Oklahoma pulled away, beat them pretty handily. LSU was at Mississippi State. This was a blowout, 20-point, something like that game. Just like everyone expected, LSU and especially Burrow are too focused to allow themselves to be tripped up right now. So they are still undefeated. Let's see. Ohio State at Northwestern, blowout. Ohio State reminds me of LSU in terms of how focused they are. I haven't been able to watch a single game of them so far this year. I've just seen the scores. But according to the scores I've seen and the people that listen to the experts, Ohio State has just as prolific an offense as LSU, but probably a better defense. So they're probably a better team right now. LSU just has better wins. Let's see, Wisconsin at Illinois. This is a shocker. This was the what our game was against Georgia last week is what this game was. Illinois pulls the upset, winning by 1 point by kicking a last-second field goal to beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin got caught looking ahead. That's what you're going to hear everyone say, and that's what I agree with. Wisconsin's clearly a better team than Illinois. Wisconsin plays Ohio State this week in a huge matchup. So, yeah, they probably got caught looking ahead. So, obviously, they won't be in my top 10 anymore. Let's see, where are we at? 7. Penn State played Michigan at home. Poor Jim Harbaugh cannot get a big win. I don't think he's beaten any of these teams since he's been at Michigan. Very surprised by that. I remember when he first got to Michigan, no one thought that he would be winless in these big games. No one, especially me. But this could be his last year if he doesn't win any of these big games. Especially, I think they play Notre Dame this weekend. If they lose that game too and then lose Ohio State, yeah, I don't know. He might be fired in the offseason. I don't know. Let's see, where am I? Number 8, Baylor played at Oklahoma State. I picked Oklahoma State to win this game. Credit to Baylor for pulling it off. They had an interception in the end zone. Either it's at the end of the first half or end of the game. That was a pretty big deal. But they pulled away and won by like 7 or 10 points, something like that. Yeah, credit to them. I don't think anyone thought that they would still be undefeated at this point. Number 9, Minnesota played at Rutgers. I'm not sure what the score was. I know they won. Minnesota, they are calling them to be the worst undefeated team in the country right now. But as long as they're undefeated, they're in my top 10. You know, I give everybody a shot because everybody can lose or win any given week. Let's see, number 10, I had Boise State. They played at BYU, and I picked BYU in that game, and they did win. I expected Boise State to get their first loss. BYU's kind of had an up and down season, but I figured they were good enough to beat Boise State, and they were. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into the Week 9 rankings. Let me count them up real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right, Week 9, starting with number 10 and re-entering. This is the first one-loss team that I've had in my top 10 since the season began. Everyone's kind of, taking everybody out at this point. We have more of that to come, which is really exciting. Okay, starting with number 10, I have Notre Dame. They play at Michigan this week. I got to pick Notre Dame to win this one. I don't know how anyone could have any confidence in Michigan with how they're losing all these big games, as I mentioned before. But I don't know about Notre Dame's chances to make the playoff. There's just too many teams ahead of them that have a conference championship, that 13th game. I don't see any way Notre Dame can make it unless there's just mass chaos, and they're just sitting there with that one loss to Georgia on the road. But they would need a lot of chaos. So number 10, Notre Dame. At Michigan, I'm picking Notre Dame. Number 9, also re-entering my top 10, and the second team that I have in my top 10 with a loss is Georgia. They have a bye week this week, so they'll maintain their top 10 status for next week. And then they play Florida, who got by my Gamecocks by the help of the refs. Everyone in the country knows it. It was a bullshit game. But yeah, I'm not really here to talk about that though. Okay, coming in at number 8, Minnesota maintains their top 10 status because they are undefeated. They play Maryland at home. This is a game I think Maryland could pull the upset. Maryland's a tricky team. They looked good at the beginning of the season. They had a really good offense. They've lost a couple by now, I believe. I'm going to go... I kind of want to pick Maryland in this one to upset Minnesota. If it was at Maryland, I think I would pick Maryland. I'm probably going to end up being wrong on this one, but I'm going to go with Minnesota. Mostly because I like to pull for the underdog. I like to pull for the little guy. And I kind of want Minnesota to keep chugging along. See how long they can stay undefeated. So I'm going to pick Minnesota in this one to stay undefeated. And maintain their top 10 status. Okay, coming at number 7, have Baylor, who also has a bye week, so they'll maintain their top 10 status. And like I mentioned earlier, I didn't expect them to win at Oklahoma State, but they did, and now they have a bye, so they'll get to chill out and enjoy their top 10 status in my top 10. Penn State at Michigan State. This could be an upset because Michigan State's known for their defense. I just don't think they have enough offense to get it done. I'm picking Penn State in this game. Penn State's going to maintain their top 10 status in my top 10. And, they'll beat Michigan State and remain in the hunt for the playoff. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Coming at number 5, I have Ohio State. They have the big game, Wisconsin at home. I'm going to pick Wisconsin in this game. A lot of it has to do with I want Wisconsin to win because Ohio State being in the picture is boring to me. It's even more boring than Alabama being in the picture. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense because Alabama's been in the picture for so long now. Ohio State to me is just the most boring team in college football. Not on the field wise. I mean just logo wise. If Ohio State and Alabama make the playoff this year, I've seen that. I would love it if the playoff didn't have Clemson, Alabama, or Ohio State. That would be an interesting playoff. You won't really know who to pick. That's what's fun about it. But I'm picking Wisconsin. They're pissed off after their 1-point loss to Illinois. They need this game more than Ohio State needs it. If Wisconsin loses this game, they're done. They're done. They're not making the playoff. Like Georgia, Wisconsin gave away their, what'd they call it? Their one game to lose. Wisconsin's already had that. So I'm going to go with Wisconsin. They're in more of like a dire strait right now. I think they'll get it done. I think it'll be a great game. Wisconsin's defense wins this game in the end. Yeah, I'm picking Wisconsin. And then starting with my top 4, I have LSU coming in number 4. They have Auburn at home. I expect LSU to win this game. I think most people want LSU to win this game so that we can have an undefeated matchup between LSU and Alabama. Have a good game there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Auburn won just because I know how good their defense is. This will most likely be a 3:30 kickoff in Death Valley. But, yeah, I'm going to pick LSU to win this game. But I hope it's a good game. That'll give Auburn their second loss, and they'll be out of the playoff hunt. But who knows? We had? No, we haven't had a 2-loss team make the playoff, but it's certainly possible. It's certainly possible if enough happens. So I'm picking LSU to win that game and maintain their top 10 status. Coming at number 3, I have Oklahoma. They are at Kansas State. I keep waiting for Oklahoma to have a trip-up game. Just have some game where they don't even have to lose. They just have to win a close one. Every week it feels like they start a little close and then just pull away. But Oklahoma is an elite team. Their defense is better than it usually is, and their offense is just as good as it normally is, if not better, with Jalen Hurts taking the snaps. Okay, so I'm going to pick Oklahoma to win this one. It's hard to pick against them right now. Number 2, I have Alabama. They have Arkansas at home. No need to really talk about this game. I mean, Auburn just blew out Arkansas like, what was it, 52-10 or something? They're just gonna roll right over Arkansas. No big deal. And then Clemson has Boston College at home. Who knows? I don't mean that in the sense that Clemson might lose this game. Clemson will win this game. By how much? Who knows? How good is Trevor Lawrence going to look? Who knows? But Clemson has too much talent to lose to any ACC team. So I'm picking Clemson to beat Boston College and remain number 1 in my top 10. So going back through it from top to bottom, I have Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, LSU, Ohio State, Penn State, Baylor, Minnesota, Georgia, and Notre Dame. So that's my top 10 for Week 9. Look forward to this weekend to see what happens. If you agree or disagree with anything I've said, or if I've missed anything huge that would have changed my top 10, let me know in the comments below. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell for updates on future videos, and y'all have a good one.